we have a few options. One of it is to come up with a shadow cabinet of civil society. That does not stop you from having you as an opposition leader. But ours is to consolidate the good voices of the GNCs, the other civil society leaders, so that we give to you as a document that can be discussed at a level where decisions are made. I hope with those few remarks, I want to thank you so much for creating time to come and receive this award. And I will invite my partner, senior partner, CMA, Evelyn Bright, to come with the award so that we can award His Excellency. Is he supposed to talk first?
Yes, yes. Your Excellency, I would kindly request you join us to receive this award. Thank you.
Okay, where do I?
Stand there. You have to be in the middle.
I'll be in the middle.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, here. Okay.
I think the wires are everywhere. Thank you. You can say a word or two. Thank you.
Wow, it's actually written. Regional conflict mediator. And my name. It's actually 5 stars. 5 stars. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and Madam Evelyn Bright, I like the name. Yeah, and then when Ausa. This gentleman is in charge of 72,000 CBOs in the country. And how they managed to do this it remains a mystery. And CMA, it's amazing that you're doing this for the first time. We congratulate you. And I also want to congratulate my fellow awardees in the various categories. And I'm sure that I would have loved to join them at the Serena, but there was a bit of a mix-up. We were ready to go to Radisson Blue, then it was changed to Serena. Be that as it may, we have a country to think about, to love, to uphold the principles that hold us together, basically the rule of law. And we have a region that is in dire need of mediation. And even before you go to the region, the country itself. I happen to be a certified mediator myself, and I went through a mediation course. And I'm sure that may not have been captured. But people remember that when we were given some jobs to do by 2 presidents, President Daniel Arap Moi, that time as a young foreign minister. And if you allow me to mention Evelyn, you just mentioned to me that your grandmother is a famous Elizabeth Bagaya, who served as foreign minister in Uganda. And now she's doing regional work, literally. Can somebody hold this for me? Now that I've taken possession. So you see, you have that DNA of working for regional well-being, the integration of East Africans. I gather from Evelyn that the next stop will be Dar es Salaam in February. And I will want to bring on board people like my friend Jakaya Kikwete and others. And I remember that Kenyans and East Africans will have forgotten that I was actually given the responsibility by Bayao, believe it or not, by 3 presidents. President Yoweri Museveni, President Moi, and President Ali Hassan Mwinyi, to jumpstart the East African community. That time it was just cooperation. And I was the first chair of that ministerial tripartite commission. My colleagues who are president at that time, Foreign Minister of Tanzania was Regasira. Kikwete had not even been appointed Foreign Minister. And Rugunda, who later became Prime Minister of Uganda, was also the Foreign Minister of Uganda. We worked with speed because we recognize East Africans made a terrible mistake when the East African community collapsed in 1977. Again, unknown to Kenyans and East Africans, she told the police to their face. And even as we speak, those issues have not been sorted. We heard from this administration of William Ruto that they were going to compensate the youths who lost their lives. The families are still waiting. No compensation, no talk even, no indication whatsoever that you are willing to talk to these parents. Well, I think it is important. Justice demands that we don't make promises that we can't keep or we don't intend to keep. They just wanted an escape route, which they got. Some of us afforded them an escape route, and then they got all of it. And in fact, some of us who belong to the Azumio family are benefiting from the blood and the sweat of the many Kenyans who came to the streets, and the whole world stood still and took notice of the Gen Z revolt and movement. In the book of Ephesians, where the Bible tells us, live in you, live peaceably with all men. Leaders, we will be there looking for votes and calling each other names. But remember, we have a country. We are all, at the end of the day, Kenyans, East Africans, and members of the world community. Therefore, the example of the Gen Z and the millennials. By the way, they are the ones who came out in Botswana hardly 2 weeks ago. The Gen Zs and the millennials came out. So, I think it's within the mediation spirit to ask this administration to give IDs to these young Kenyans, because they want to come and teach some people a lesson of their lives. Like they did in Botswana, where the ruling party that time, the president who did one term, and if you look at what happened in Botswana, you can almost see exactly what has happened in Kenya. The president who was driven out by the Gen Zs and the millennials was torturing his predecessor Ian Khan, I think that's the name. Yeah. And in fact, that president escaped. Former president went to South Africa on exile. And then you preach hatred. Again, remember the biblical principle. You kill by the sword, you die by the sword. So there's so much. When God gives us bread, let us live peaceably with each other. Don't punish your opponents. You know, now, there are business people in this country who cannot dare to be identified with the opposition because they know the KRA people will be on their case tomorrow. Yani watu wanaishi kwa woga. So we must say no to fear. In a democracy, you cannot have that principle of fear and call yourself a democratic state. Therefore, the Gen Z said, whether we die, they were almost like Paul, who wrote and said, for me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. They said to die is gain. So we have to redeem this land. So that blood cannot have been shed in vain. In 2023, at these grounds, after the demonstrations, the churches in Nairobi could not even allow us to hold some requiem mass for the almost 70 young people who died. So we had to put a tent here. You may remember media colleagues that we were putting wreaths here. Former President Uhuru was here, Raila was here, I was here, and other leaders. We couldn't even be allowed to bury those young people decently. And we ferried them to Siaya, to Makueni. We ferried them. And then a repeat of 2024, this time led by the Gen Zs. So there's time now, there's need for us to talk mediation and ability to live together as Kenyans. Though we will disagree, as indeed we ought to in a democracy, but let us remember that what is it that is the nexus holding us together? Our Constitution 2010, bequeathed to us by President Kibaki. At least hold that. Let's hold to that constitutionalism, that sense of constitutionalism and the rule of law. And when we say tumeumizana, people should be to say sorry literally and do something about it. We will on Friday here be addressing a very critical issue because our research team is on it. So media, don't be tired. We want to talk about this vaccination of 22 million cows. Hey, mutashangaa kabisa the reason behind it. People using climate change debate say our cows produce methane gas, which is okay. Our cows, right? And because of the clever Kenyans actually do biogas. They cook with it. Now they want to vaccinate our cows in order to stop producing. Can you imagine? Because they say you in offend the ozone layer, and to use Kenya as a guinea pig. So after this vaccination of 22 million cattle, we will be eating meat that has been genetically modified. It's not enough that they have lifted the orders on GMO and we have gone to the appeal court. GMO imekubalika. We need therefore this mediation spirit in us so we know, tell each other the truth. So this is really, come to think of it, this is dangerous stuff. But we'll be talking about it on Friday. When Jeremiah Kioni kept on talking about this over the weekend, I was wondering, what is Kioni talking about? Until the reality has hit me. So, we will say a polite and firm no to some of these machinations. And we'll ask our people. By saying no, we are not saying you don't belong to Kenya or you want to immigrate. No, this is the only land. This is our land. Yeah. In the book of Isaiah, Kenyans have tried to identify where Kenya is. The land beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. So this land is important. Kwa hivyo mimi nawashukuru sana. I don't know whether it will be in order for me to ask one or two of my colleagues. Yeah, Paloma. We take a picture first. We face that way. So you want us to turn the chairs? The front. Okay. I really hope Aniva could be here in time. Okay, so I hold I hold my present again. I need it. Anifa ajafika. You know, this again is the Law Society.
Yes, justice.
Justice. Let justice reign like rain. And balance yourselves. Thank you. Robert, maybe Robert could join us somewhere. Robert is a deputy minority leader, actually deputy majority. Oh, we come here.
Yes. Thank you very much. As my colleagues to come ukumbele kidogo, we take this opportunity to, first of all, congratulate CMA for this award and for finding the right man for the award.
They should come up with the right
because I can, I can tell you that as our team leader, we are very, very proud of him and what he has done for this country. When you're talking about peace, this country has known instability before. And during some of our darkest days, particularly in 2007, 2008, that is when he came out and stood by President Mwai Kibaki, stabilized this country. So the peace we celebrated. Then, after that, he had something to do with it, and this country remembers him for that. And not just in this country, beyond our borders, in the Sudan, South Sudan, the role he has played in stabilizing the region, in bringing peace in the region. You couldn't have found a better person for this award, and we want to thank you for that, but also to congratulate His Excellency for his outstanding role as a mediator, as a peacemaker, and as a leader who has always fought to bring the country together for all Kenyans to live in peace and harmony. So we are very proud today to celebrate this award. And the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Your Excellency, congratulations, and we're very proud of you. But also to say what Bishop Desmond Tutu once said, that without justice there can be no peace. Without peace there can be no development. I want to share the sentiments of His Excellency that indeed, even as we move forward, we must ensure that we do justice to ensure that our country is peaceful. What happened last year and this year in terms of the demonstrations against the Finance Bill 2023 and the Finance Bill 2024, and the Gen Zs who were killed, their families are still crying out for justice. Perhaps today we might see the country is calm and think that our country is peaceful. Indeed, it might just be the calm before the storm, especially with the plans of this broad-based government to bring back the 2024 Finance Bill. We did tell them last year that please drop this Finance Bill. They did not listen to us, and it costed lives. 75 died last year, over 60 died this year, and bringing back this Finance Bill is like bringing back the storm that caused bloodshed. And as we celebrate this peacemaker, we want to reach out to the broad-based government to tell them not to provoke the wrath of the Gen Zs to come back to the streets, but also to do justice for the families who lost their dear ones. And that we will fight for even as we celebrate this award. Perhaps maybe I would invite Governor Waitito and one or two colleagues to also congratulate our leader, but to assure the country that even as we move forward, we will continue fighting for peace and for justice for our fellow Kenyans. Karibu Governor, usalimie, upongeze kiongozi wetu.
I also take this opportunity to congratulate the coming president 2027 because of the work that he has done for this country for a long time. We remember very well when he was the foreign minister, he mediated the peace between the varying functions in Sudan, SPLM, SPLA, led by Mr. Garan, and that country became a stable country, and elections were held, and they achieved their independence. We also associate the former vice president with peace in this country, a peaceful man, God-loving person. There is no spilling of blood in this country that has ever been associated with him. And according to us, we have seen other young leaders who have come just the other day, and so much blood has been spilled when they are in leadership. We saw what happened the other day with the Gen Zs. So many of them died because of advocating good governance. And that is why some of us who are on the side of the government, who campaigned for the president who is there now, William Ruto, we decamped from that government, from the ruling Kenya Kwanza government, because of the way this government is being run. A lot of confusion you can see in the government. The medical scheme, the SAR and the SHE, all this confusion. NHIF was running very well. Everybody was benefiting. We don't know what became of the whole idea of this new idea, but we know very well it is corruption. And that is why we are telling our incoming president that this is your right time to come forward and save this country. Na ndio sisi wote, Your Excellency, we are saying, ongoza sisi vile unatuongoza sasa, okoa Kenya. And from where I come from, Mount Kenya region, people are with you 100%. People believe that you are the savior of this country. Na vile the organization has recognized you as a peacemaker. Sisi yote tunakubaliana nao na tunakongratulate na tunakwambia vile unaongeaga tu pole tu kama Kibaki. Hiyo ndio tunataka. Hatutaki watu wa kupiga kelele. Hawa kujipiga kifua tumeona wanaumiza wananchi. Kibaki was talking just slowly like you, mkiwa na yeye na mkaongoza hii nchi, tukapata free education na maendeleo mingi. Tunataka wewe utoe ile manifesto mlikuwa naye na Kibaki, uongoze kutoka 2027 nchi inawili tena. Thank you so much.
Asante Governor Baba Yao, he has found it very difficult to talk about that thing. Sometimes he says shisha. Aujua libani shisha bana, uthirudisha shisha. So we have also leaders of both houses of parliament here who are leading us in parliament. I would like to invite Robert Mbui, who is our leader in the National Assembly, to say a word, then invite his counterpart in the Senate to also say a word. Senator Wambua, please.
Thank you. Let me take this opportunity to also congratulate you, Your Excellency. I'm very proud that, I'm organizing secretary of your party, the party that you lead, and also a leader in Azimio that you also lead. Your Excellency, as we congratulate you, just want to say that there's still a lot of conflict that we need you to step in and help us. Our lecturers are out in the streets, government is not paying them. That's something that requires mediation. Your Excellency, the program that has been talked about of SHA, which is SHIF, under the Social Health Insurance Fund, is failing Kenyans, Your Excellency. So you need to also step in and give direction. Your Excellency, our youth are still smarting out there. I mean, like you just said, this is a calm before the storm. We know that from Parliament there is an intention to bring some of those, draconian and punitive taxes through the back door in Parliament. We also want that you step in and help us to also mediate that process. So I know there's a lot of work that you have that is ahead of us, but I'm certain that you're the man for the job. Otherwise, congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Senator Wambua, please.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate you for this prestigious award. It is well deserved. Because I know you are a man of the word and you read the Bible. The Bible says in the Beatitudes, the blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. We thank you for the work that you have continued to do in this country and in this region. But as Mheshimiwa Mbuya said, and as Waziri Eugene has said, your commitment to peacemaking must never be mistaken for cowardice, because it is not. Peacemakers are not necessarily people that will sit back and allow aggressors to violate their rights or the rights of people around them. But a leader, personally, I want to tell this country, because I think I know. If there is a leader in this country who believes in the rights of other people, even more than his own rights, then that leader is Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And I know that even today, if you realize that the rights of even your political opponents are being violated, firm in defense of their rights. And that's the leader that this country has been waiting for. But a leader, as I conclude, this country, and I say this also as an elder in the church, this country has been waiting for your leadership. And that time has come. Lead with courage, assured that behind you and walking alongside you are millions of Kenyans who profess and are committed to justice. I thank you, Pateli.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much. We're very pleased amongst us to receive the other very distinguished leader who has received this Peace Award. Many of you heard about her during the Gen Z protests. Hanifa, we are very, very proud of you and your team. And before we invite you, we want to invite one of our lawyers, Ndego Njiru, here, because they say prevention is better than cure. Sometimes preventing war is also creating peace, because we know with JKIA, the sale of JKIA, a lot of Kenyans are not at peace. With what has happened with Shisha, a lot of Kenyans are dying there. They don't know peace. But also with the sale of Ketraco, a lot of Kenyans are not peaceful at all. But we have gotten orders in court, and our leader is also leading us in court. Apart from the political front, there's the legal front. And Ndego Njiru, on behalf of our legal team, please congratulate our leader.
Thank you very kindly. Your Excellency, kindly allow me to equally state that this country is ailing, the country is sick. It requires a surgeon and a political surgeon. Will be precise to addressing the issues ailing this country. And we all understand that the issues ailing this country is the issues of lawlessness and the disregard of the rule of law. We need a leader who is going to restore this country back to the rule of law. And that leader, in my own view, and in the view of the majority of the Kenyans, is you, His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka. If we are able to get the country back to the rule of law, will not speak about issues of accountability. If we get this country back to the rule of law, we will not speak about the issues of transparency. If we get the country back to the rule of law, issues of abduction and extrajudicial killings will be the issues of the past. Issues of disregard of the views of the people will be a thing of the past. Issues of corruption will be the issues of the past. Your Excellency, I have heard the Bible says that happy are the peacekeepers. But where we are going, we require much more than peace. We require aggression. Thank unto you that you are vigorously aggressive to defending the integrity and the sovereignty of our country. I wish to thank you for, once more for having taken the lead in the Adani's case, that you've come out to protect the sovereignty of our country, symbolized by the JKIA. JKIA is ours, and nobody can twin us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as we invite the next speaker, who is also one of the nominees for the award, we congratulate His Excellency. And if I want to congratulate you also, to congratulate Okiya Omtatah, Senator wangu kutoka Busia aliyeleta matata sana kwa Finance Bill 2023 and 2024. We also congratulate Professor Lumumba, mwalimu wangu. They were also found to be worthy of this award. And as Anifa comes, just to assure you and all Gen Zs that this team chose not to join the broad-based government of Zakayo. This team stands with you in seeking justice for your colleagues, over 60 who lost their lives. This team will stand with you as Zakayo seeks to bring back the infamous 2024 Finance Bill. We will be with you. Please come and say a word. And congratulations once more on our behalf. Thank you.
Hi guys. I'm sorry I'm so late. I want to congratulate His Excellency Kalonzo. Congratulations so much. You deserve it. You deserve more than this. Thank you so much for standing with us. It's really a breath of fresh air when we have such group of people, such honorables, and standing behind us in a country that's calling us criminals, a country that is abducting us, a country that has become lawless. Everyone is losing their minds here. We are losing our minds, honestly. It's become really hopeless. So it is genuinely heartwarming when we have you, such people, recognizing this, standing with us, standing by what is right. Standing by us means standing by what is right, honestly. So thank you. It means a lot. Congratulations, Honorable. And please help us take this country back. Help us bring sanity back to this country, and for the sake of everyone we have lost. And since we're talking about peace, peace goes hand in hand with justice.
Kenyans who may not understand the legal terminology, extrajudicial killings simply means that you take the lives of Kenyans contrary to the law. In this criminal law which establishes how somebody can be hanged. And I remember one time I was responsible for the Ministry of Home Affairs under Mzee Kibaki, and I was brought a list by the Director General of Kenya Prisons, and the list had over 3,000 people on the death row. The death row ni wale wanangojea tu kunyongwa. You hang by the rope, the judge will say, hang by the rope until you are dead. Pronounced dead. Anybody who takes life other than in accordance with the law is actually committing a crime themselves. But I can tell you, Mzee Kibaki and I looked at that list, and we said, nobody has the right to take anybody else's life. Even Mzee Kibaki, who could have signed decided to commute those sentences to life in prison. What we need to do, our legislators, is you now have to define what is the meaning of life in prison. What is the meaning of life imprisonment? I think is one issue which is outstanding. In Rwanda, they do not have capital punishment under the constitution. By the way, the example of Rwanda is also worth following, CMA, because they have the gacaca courts, where to decongest the prisons, as your colleague has just said, you get people sitting, wazee, they get gacaca courts, they dispense quick justice. Those who have to forgive each other, forgive, they embrace, they cry together, and the society gets healed. Here in Kenya, it is punishment after punishment, breaking people's nerves and hearts. Abductions continue, even as we speak, because they look at those Gen Zs who are sending what, wherever, and here we are referring to data protection, which is also getting violated, and they follow young people, they abduct them, they kill them, you will not go unpunished. And that does not mean I'm not a peacemaker. We are told here and clearly, you cannot have peace without justice. Yeah, and you can also have development, as the late Desmond Tutu said, without no development, without peace as well. So these things are not contradictions. The times we live in are perilous times, and Kenyans are feeling it. We want to tell Kenyans, you are not alone. Broad-based, we heard over the weekend that kuna wengine wana peremende, so I called it bread-based, bread and peremende-based government. But that's okay, it's our country. That is not name-calling. You can be sure that you will never get from this awardee stone throwing. We will throw stones from our heads. Maybe sometimes we can do so with sharp criticism, but we will not take a panga and hurt a Kenyan. We will not get a stone and hit a fellow Kenyan. That is the message to the leaders. So let us be very sharp about this. Once again, thank you. Thank you, my brothers here, and young Gen Z here, Kamau. According to me, broke a world record here, Kenya. He drove from here to Luanda and drove back on Saturday. Young man driving himself. They have energy also, and they talk like Hanifa. They don't follow any protocol. They just tell you as for sure. We are not the type to walk out of a challenge. We face it head on. There will be need for, in order to consolidate opposition in Kenya, we will work with everybody. But if others walk out, of course we can't. Our sister Mother Karua, for example, walked out. She gave notice. I don't think that DAP has given notice, or Wiper, or Jubilee. No. So, Chris, just report that nobody is walking out from this side. And the ones who have given notice, and because we believe it is good. It is good. When we talk to everybody going forward, yeah, we will talk to everybody so that we build a strong coalition. So when you talk about strengthening, actually, I think what I can tell you, a time is coming when we will ask everybody to validate their membership in Azimio and expand. Others come, others leave. Because while Kenya Kwanza want to force everybody into one party, right? We want Kenyans to know there's space in our side of the coalition.
Okay, the second question,
I hope you have corrected your mind. Thank you.
okay, the second question, there seems to be a growing camaraderie between you and the former deputy president regarding a transfer has led to some rumors and even speculation that
I think politics is about speculations and rumors. So you just have to use your mind again to know camaraderie, the spirit of camaraderie. Even you, I want to buy you, or you buy me some coffee. I'm going to let kamongo. All right? People must be free to associate without, being insensitive. The time for hard talk is coming. Thank you. Sawa. Kuna ingine? Ya mwisho sasa. Melita. No, we just remind, I think it was Ruto himself who said, there will be compensation. Kenyans are waiting. Or is it one of those usual, one of those usual, we'll keep on, and by the way, I don't think it's a matter sometimes of just being soft about it. This is deep. Kenyans are hurting. Their parents are waiting. There's still parents asking, where are our children? And you hear Inspector General of Police saying, these are not under police. Who else carries pingu? Kama yule jamaa amezikwa kule Siaya juzi. Found abducted or something na pingu. Nani anabeba pingu? Yeah. We have evidence of young people who were arrested and dumped in the rivers, some in I think Murang'a. Kware, the Kware issue, by the way. And here I want to make a very clear statement. If there is government still in place, can you go and clear Kware? Yani isafishe majeshi yende pale isafishe hapo na hapo mahali patengenezwe. So it's not enough to go and tell the world in Baku. Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. Kwamba hey, we are cleaning the Nairobi River. Start with the quarry. And maybe there are still more bodies there in Kware. So we must stop this. I was going to use a term which is not mediation free. Thank you. Thank you.
Hanifa, how are you?